Hey guys, and welcome to game number 87 out of 100 of my Human vs. AI series, where I'm taking on the AI-powered Scrabble-bot BestBot in a 100-game match. We're rapidly drawing towards the end of this marathon match, with now 14 games, this one included, to play. I'm down 37 to 49, so what that means is to win the series, I will most likely need to win 14 games in a row. 13-1 would make it 50 to 50, but given my spread is nearly negative 2,000 right now, as you guys can see, it's going to be pretty tough for me to catch the bot on spread, even with 13 wins. So, gotta play every game here as if it's a must-win, but you never know. Bot is first, which is actually a welcome sight for me, because I have several tiles I could use for an 8 here. I see an A would give me inactive, a D infected, and I get neither, unfortunately. Do I have anything through an L? Vertical, ventricle almost? No. U? No. I don't think so. Definitely not a V. Okay. Bummer, but it is what it is. So, I'm actually kind of inclined to play Vive here, just because it really doesn't give the bot anything. Vive doesn't take an S. It's also just not bad for my rack. Like, Scent is a good leave. I guess my best leave would be Lev, but that's not a great play, because that takes an A and an O. I don't have either of those, so I'm not a huge fan of that. And that's also with CEINT on the board after Lev. Without having a hook, it's just not very good. So like, if I'm not setting myself up for a hook, I might as well at least try to make my opponent's life difficult too. Like, I'd rather both of our lives are difficult than my life is difficult, and my opponent's life may or may not be difficult, so I think Vive makes sense. Like, whatever I do, I'm not going to really score much. I guess I could start playing something like Vince, but it's just not necessary. I mean, it's 7 more points, but it completely blows the board open. I'd rather keep it tight, keep a strong leave here. It's just a bit more sound. So let's do that. And we draw the Z. I'm not thrilled about drawing the Z, because I'd prefer to have bingo tiles early on, but maybe I'll be able to play Cuz or Cousin or something. We'll see what the bot does. The 2 T's are not great either, so all things considered, not a great draw, but it happens. And yeah, we'll have to see how the bot wants to manage this position. If it, well, maybe it has a bingo. If it doesn't have a bingo, does it want to keep it tight? Does it want to open a little bit? We'll see. If the board stays more or less as is, I don't have a whole lot of options. I could just go all in defense mode and play something like Coat for 12, which would really leave almost nothing for the bot. So we'll see. I just don't have a good play with my Z. I don't want to start playing something like Close, most likely, and blowing the whole bottom of the board open. NTT, also not a good leave. So like I said, it's a little bit hard to plan without knowing what the bot's going to do, of course. So let's wait and see what it comes up with. It's taken some time here. And it plays Vogue for 9. Interesting. I wonder now, maybe I should play Cogent. Because Coat is also fine. This is 6 more points. It also turns over a few more tiles. It's very defensive, like extremely defensive. C can't even be overlapped. I don't actually mind this. Like, I just don't have a good play with my Z. And it's not like the Q where I'm desperate to just necessarily get rid of it ASAP. Like, would I rather get rid of the Z? Yeah, but I don't have such a huge urgency. Another option that is more open, that keeps a slightly better leave, is Cotton for 16. 2 fewer points. ZE is a little bit better than ZT. But I think I'd rather play Cogent and keep it a little bit tighter. Force the bot to hopefully open something up for my Z on the next turn. And we draw some A's. 3 A's, as well as an H, so not ideal, but could be worse. Almost like Halaza or something with Chalaza, but not quite. Probably Cash will come down if it stays open, but we'll see. I don't know what else I can really do. I guess I can play like Aha for 17. It's an option. There's just not much through this L. I mean, Hazel, but that keeps AAT. That's not great. Yeah, I think Cash is just best by a long shot for now if it stays open, but we'll see. The bot's playing pretty slowly. It seems to tend to play slowly on these tight early game positions. But yeah, pretty slow start for both of us. I'm up 9 points, but it's obviously extremely early in this game, so we'll just have to see how it progresses over the next couple of turns. Is it going to get opened up? Because there's certainly plenty of potential, like with plays through the sea and stuff, for this board to still get opened, or is it going to kind of turn into a more closed down game? So we'll just have to see what the bot does. Again, it's taken over a minute here, interestingly. So let's give it a second and see what it comes up with. And wow, it plays NU for 3 points. Sheesh. I mean, I don't think that really changes much for me, because I don't have nuds, almost, but not quite. The only thing that can go here is the T for nut. I mean, I'm not going to play Zeta. It's not even that defensive. He can still bingo on the end column. So I think I'm just going to stick to my plan and play cash and score. And if he bingos, he bingos. I mean, he's not going to take that big a lead. Like, there's just not really much I can do about it. So let's just play that. Ugh. Not a great draw, unfortunately. I mean, I did keep 3 vowels, so I kind of asked for it, but I was hoping to at least get one more consonant. In the event it stays open, I'll definitely play Azote for 30, but I expect he's probably going to bingo hooking NU. I mean, if he... Oh, okay, he plays Hoplites. Interesting. So Pilots and Pistol both didn't fit. I think I'm going to pretty quickly make my next play here of Iota. 26 points, keeps a fantastic leave. Yeah, like, there's just nothing else to consider here. No reason to think. Whoa. CFQX is what I just drew. Wow. That is different, to say the least. But it's a pretty close game. After all that, I am down 3. And yeah, all of the high pointers pretty much, other than the J, are now either on my rack or already gone. So what am I going to do here? I guess COTS? Keep CEFX. That's not very good. There's also Qua, which keeps something very similar. Yeah, I mean, I still feel like getting rid of the Q is probably my priority, unless I have a good place to play Exact or something. I don't even know. I mean, I could play like Fax, but the Q is just so bad. Like, at least with CEFX, I feel like I have better potential than I do with the Q. You could also play Quave. I'm not really dying to float an E if I don't have to. So, yeah, probably looking at COTS on my next turn is my guess. But we'll see what the bot does. Obviously, a lot of things could open up for me with this kind of rack, but we'll just have to see. And the bot plays full, which is a very welcome sight for me, because now Exact plays with U's. So I'm going to do that extremely quickly, 69 points. Of course, it keeps FQ, which is not good, but... I mean, here at least I can maybe play Quag. Well, not anymore. He plays Aerolite, so he retakes the lead, but not for long. I'll have a decent score. Probably Waft or Weft. Actually, Weft. Yeah, usually the E is obviously normally a better tile than the A, but when you have the Q, it's the other way around. Just because QAT, Cade, and Kadi, there's just more options with QA than QE. So Weft definitely better than Waft. Or I could play Cot here or here, which does get rid of the Q, but EFGW, not exactly a great rack. Or I could play Waftage for 32, keeping the Q. So actually a plethora of options here, interestingly. Now, Cot, I mean, the advantage is obviously getting rid of the Q. The drawback is I still leave the H1 spot open, and there's a lot that can go there. I mean, looking at the pool, he can have 2 Bs, 4 Ds, 2 Ms, a P, a G, a W, 2 Ws actually. So he's pretty likely to go there. Now, if he doesn't go there, I have a good chance at maybe hitting something myself with the W. So it's not a terrible idea. So yeah, with Weft, that is, what, 36. Keeps the Q and the A together. Problem is, though, you know what, though? There's no T's left. Wow, yeah, there's actually no T's, so the QA is not actually that useful for me. So I'd be very dependent on drawing an I to get rid of the Q, which is not a great situation to be in. One nice thing about Waftage, which I think makes Waftage better than Weft, it still blocks the spot, and now it puts a T out there for me, so if I draw an A, I still have Cot. It also turns over more tiles for the blanks. as well as just for bailouts for the Q, like the I or an A. Like, I'm pretty likely to draw an A or an I with 9 of them left, playing off 6 tiles. So I think Weft is out. Waftage definitely feels better than Weft for just 4 less points. So I'm between Waftage and Cot. I just leave after Cot. Like, I know I get rid of the Q, but EFGW is pretty bad. I kind of think I'd rather take my chances on the Q. And like I said, I also turn over more tiles, which is good. We're about halfway through the game, 2 blanks and 3 S's left. And odds are in my favor to get an A, an I, or a U next turn. I mean, A, like I said, gives me Cot for 32, very unlikely to get blocked. And I gives me QI next to Aerolite for almost 30, pretty unlikely to get blocked too. So I think I'm going to go with Waftage. As much as I always say, like, get rid of the Q ASAP, I hate EFGW, and I do want that turnover. So let's do this. It's a little bit non-standard, but I think I like it. And there you go. I got the blank, and that is exactly why we did it. Now, obviously, the rest of my rack is clunky, but I do at least have an I. So, of course, QI an option. Still keeping DGJO blank, which is not ideal. But I'm probably just going to have... Yeah, I'm just getting, like, all the high points this game. It's crazy. I mean, I've already gotten the Z and the X, and now I have the J and the Q. So the good news is I've been scoring well with them. I mean, Exact was almost 70. Cash was 36. And I'm down 2-0 on bingos, and I'm still in the lead, which is pretty remarkable. So that can be one advantage of getting all the power tiles. If you use them efficiently, then you can actually sometimes make up for the lack of bingoing that you're inevitably going to have when you have all these J's and Q's and X's and Z's by scoring. So honestly, pretty pleased, all things considered, with the way this game is going so far. I know that's famous last words, especially against BestBot, but we'll see. It's been an interesting game for sure. And I haven't bingoed yet. I have to imagine at some point I'll bingo with a blank, but it's probably going to be at least 3 more turns, because I'm going to have to get rid of the Q and then get rid of the J. So, yeah, I've still got a little ways to go here to bingo. I haven't really had any rack that's... Like, the closest rack I've had to bingo in was my opening rack, where I had events plus a T. And then, since then, I've gotten absolutely no closer to bingoing. And, yeah, the bot is playing pretty slowly this game. We're seeing I actually have more time left than the bot, which is... not unheard of, but not exactly a common occurrence. So we'll see what the bot comes up with here. It's going into another pretty deep think. Okay, the bot plays prod for 27. Interesting. And I just can't really do a whole lot with that P. Huh. I mean, I really don't want to keep both the J and the Q, honestly. Like, it just doesn't seem like a good idea. So I think QI is probably correct. I could play Jog. I feel like the Q is very unlikely to improve beyond QI at this point. There's only 1 U left. I'm not very likely to draw. I guess, though, you know what? I could maybe draw, like, Squid next to Aerolites, actually. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, like, if I play Jog, if I draw an S or the U, I do hit Squid for, like, 70, which is obviously worth using the blank for. You know, it's actually not crazy, guys, whereas, like, DGJO blank is not really going anywhere that exciting either. Like, I know I'm keeping the Q a lot more than I normally do, but I still know I have an out with QI on my next turn, right? So that really helps. And I do still get rid of the J and the G, both of which I do still want to get rid of. I kind of think this is better. It just feels like neither play, or I guess I should say, this play has more upside. Like, neither play is that likely to turn much better next turn. Like, I'm probably going to end up playing Jog and Chi either way, but, like, this way I have more of a chance of improving, because I can get Squid or something else. After QI, it's just hard to see with GJDO how I'm going to score much more than Jog. So I think I'm going to play Jog, and let's see what I get. Alright, well, I didn't get the S, but I do at least now have Kadi there, so that's a bit of an improvement as well over just Chi. I guess I did block my Cot spot on the top, which is a little bit unfortunate. So yeah, hopefully my spot for Kadi there stays open, and then I will finally be able to get rid of this Q that I've definitely been holding for longer than I generally recommend holding it for. So yeah, hopefully the bot just plays something through the P. I mean, not like a triple-triple, something fairly tame, and then I can play Kadi and then hopefully start bingoing, because I have yet to bingo this game. Yeah, I mean, other than Kadi, there's just not a whole lot else to do, I don't think, here. There's just nothing to burn the blank for. Quag is not even really more points. There's nothing from this P. Quiz keeps 2 A's and 2 D's, which is pretty bad. So yeah, just kind of, like I said, waiting for the bot. Yeah, bot again playing pretty slowly here, taking over a minute. So we'll see what it comes up with. Alright, the bot plays Bun, which is a pretty annoying play, because it stops my Q play. So now I gotta figure out what I want to do. I guess, you know what else I could do? I could play Kindar. Like, if I'm gonna burn the blank, that's absolutely what I should do. That's way better than Quag or Quiz. It's honestly not the craziest thing I've ever seen. I know it looks wild, burning the blank for 37, but like, the thing is, well, also he just played the U, so this Q is going nowhere now, right? I mean, the Q is just horrible. I've also had it for 3 turns. I really need to get rid of it. The only place I can really get rid of it without using the blank is Cot, I think. Like, I don't even think I can play QI anywhere. It's 12, so it's 25 less than Kindar. I mean, a blank is worth like 26, 28 on static. And this also keeps 2 Ds, which is kind of clunky. Also with Kindar, I mean, there's also another blank and 3 S's left, so like, it feels weird to say, like, going for turnover and you're using a blank when you're going for turnover because, like, the goal of turnover is to get blanks, and here I am getting rid of one. But there is another blank, so either way, I would like to get that, as well as some of those S's. I take a 37-point lead, which is sizable. I guess the other option would be ads. How about that? That's also not crazy. I mean, again, I keep this Q. Could hit, like, Cannot maybe through that A, potentially. Not likely to. Huh. It's interesting, because, like, ads saves Kindar, and Kindar saves ads. One nice thing about Kindar, too, is I do block that P. Yeah, it's a tough call. Very tough call. Really interesting position. I mean, ads is only 11 fewer points than Kindar, so it feels weird to burn the blank, but getting rid of the Q obviously has a lot of value. The real question is, how likely am I to get a big Q play better than Kindar after this? I guess I could also draw one of the N's for Kindar as a natural, which would be much better than using the blank for it. The main drawback to ads that I'm worried about is leaving the P open, but, I mean, how scary really is the P? That's the question. Yeah, this is a tough call. Really tough call. They're very different plays. Ads does have the benefit, too, of, I mean, if I can draw an N, I have Kindar or Cannot on the top, but I'm not that likely to draw an N. He also just played 2 of them, so he could easily have another. And the other tiles just don't really help me. Like, the Q is just so bad, because there's nowhere to play QI, there's nowhere to play Kadi now. I guess though, I do actually set up Kate or Kadi with ads. That is interesting, because, yeah, I can now play Kate or Kadi through the A in ads. Okay, that helps. Right, if Kindar doesn't work out, that definitely helps. I just worry, though, that this is a very long-term plan, right? Like, ads, Cade, and then, but it's like, we're talking 3 turns now in advance by the time I actually have a good rack. And by then, that might be enough time for the bot to start bingoing and wreaking havoc, or maybe even getting something big with the P. So it's just a question of, do I have time for this plan of, like, ads and then Cade or Kadi and then bingoing? Like, or do I want to just play Kindar immediately, take a 37-point lead, save ads as a backup from next turn, and start working towards a new rack? I think that's better. It's counterintuitive, because it burns a blank for not that many points, but the Q is just such a liability. Like, you know, at this point, there's so much good stuff unseen. Like, a 28-point Q play is not something to strive for. Like, I need to be working for more than 28 points. You know, you can also see, like, we've both only scored 221, and we're well past the halfway point of the game. We're probably past the 2/3 point of the game, which is, you know, if you think about it, that means we're both, if we keep up this pace, only scoring like low to mid 300s. That's very low, and that tells you how much firepower there is left. That's another good way to look at it. And if you look at the pool too, I mean, blank, SSS, R's, E's, N's, tons of bingo tiles, scoring tiles too, H, K, Y, Y, M, M. Like, the pool is so good. I just feel like, again, ads is too slow. I think I need to dig into the pool more and get rid of the queue now. I'm playing Kindar. Okay. I mean, not the greatest draw, but I can sort of live with it. Guess I can play, like, a rock on top, perhaps. A-R-A-K. We'll see. I have a lead of 37 points, which is certainly not a foolproof lead with... I mean, someone's going to bingo again in this game. Like, probably we're going to see 2 more bingos this game with all the good stuff left. So the real question is going to be, if BestBot bingos, can I still win without bingoing myself? Maybe. Depends how much it bingos for and how much I can score. It's been a very interesting game, that's for sure. Yeah, Kindar was a very, very weird play by me. I do realize that. But like I said, I just didn't feel like I had time for ads. I just felt like I needed to get rid of that queue. So, I don't know. How about I didn't, like, miss something? But I also did like blocking the P, which now is unfortunate because I'd love to play Parked there for 42. Alright, so the bot gets down Ironiest. And, yeah, I mean, there were several playable... Okay, well, I saved the game. If I didn't play Kindar, Ripienos for 149, GG comes down. So now I'm very glad I played Kindar. Yeah, if I played ads, then bot would have tripled with Ripienos for 149, so... Okay, well, whether I win or lose, playing Kindar was certainly a good play as far as the actual circumstances go. So, yeah, the pool is still very good. I think I want to play Raked here, score pretty well, and I like continuing to turn over tiles for that blank. Board is getting kind of shut down, but I'm only down like 9. Depending on what I draw, I maybe could still win without a bingo if I can score well. I'm probably going to need to bingo as my yes, but AR is not a bad leave, and I also need to make sure I score enough to stay within 1 bingo range, so I think I like this. So yeah, let's go ahead and play that and see what I can draw. Ugh. That's terrible. Wow. That's a very disappointing draw. Yeah, multiple duplicates, and I mean, there's... Oh. Dang. Yeah, he bingos with a 9 now and draws the... Well, he's going to probably have the blank. There's nothing to fish for, right? I mean, I just don't think even if I hit something, it's enough. Like, if I try to go for, say, non-dairy with the blank, like if I do this, right, and try to hit non-dairy and yarning, I mean, if I draw the blank, there's no way this wins. I'm down too much, right? Like, he's got a lot of garbage if I draw the blank. But he can just outscore. But yeah, no, he just plays Y, W-I-E, for like 40. And yarning isn't anywhere near enough. Yeah, no. That's the problem. Like, he's just scoring too many points. I mean, this doesn't help me. Well, then I don't even have another bingo, probably, if I draw the blank. He just blocks non-dairy. He can still just play buy and Reb for like 30 plus or Beamy. Nah, I'm lost. GG. Yeah, there's no reason to fish. Let's just play urine and cut our losses. And yeah, of course I didn't draw the blank anyway. Yeah, I mean, I just, you know, it was a good game, and then he just got everything at the end. I mean, he got all the S's and the blank at the end, and I just needed at least some of those, but it wasn't meant to be. It was an interesting game, though. Like I said, Kindar was probably the most questionable play I made of the whole game. It's one of the most questionable plays I've made in a while, but it certainly, you know, I can't say it worked out because I'm going to lose, but it worked out in the sense that, like I said, he was going to play 149-point triple-triple if I didn't play it, and it's not like I would have won after that. So, yeah, maybe this one just, unless I missed something earlier, this one maybe just wasn't meant to be. But we'll see. The bot's going to probably take a little time here figuring out its endgame, is my guess, because I don't think I can go out, so it's a pretty complicated position. Okay, bot eventually comes up with Mopey for 36, keeping Mew. Is it going out with Mew? I don't think so. If there is a spot I'm not seeing, it doesn't fit above Waftage. Yeah, I don't think it is. So I'd probably just play Biz and score, right? I mean, although am I going to go out with RN? Yeah, I don't know if I'm going out then with RN, which is kind of crazy. No, I am. I have Nor over here. Or, yeah, no, I don't want to play... Well, actually, maybe I do want to play Nor first. So that it can't block me? Does that work? I just hope I'm not missing a spot for it to play Mew. But I don't... I'm just not... wait. I can play Mule to the L. Oh, okay. Okay, I can play Mule to the L. So I either need to just play Biz and let it go out, or try to block it. Which I could. I wonder if I should play Ruse for 4. Because then I can't really stop Biz. I mean, I could play WAE, I guess. Yeah, I could play WAE. So I'd probably just go out into it. I'd probably just play Burl or something. Yeah, probably just play Burl and then... I mean, Ruse and Bin is also not bad. Yeah, maybe just Ruse and then Bin? Under QI and Kindar? Yeah, I think that's also fine. Yeah, I think let's just play Ruse and then go out with Bin. That's probably even better than Burl. I don't think there's another spot for Mew. If there is, okay, there's not. So I'm gonna look kind of silly. That's a nice fit though, U. So Bin probably better, right? Yeah, I mean it's almost as much as Biz, and he can easily go out with this M. So yeah, let's just play Bin. All right, 351, 442. So BestBot, more or less, guys, clinches the series. That's its 50th win. So I'm gonna need 13 wins now in a row if I want to tie the record, and I'm going to need to win all of these games by an average of probably about 160, 170 points if I want to catch it on spread. So, not mathematically over yet, but it is pretty close to over. But we won't call it an official clinching for the bot just yet. Let's take a look at this game. Interesting. So, bot opens with Love, keeping it tight over Volty. I'm not sure I would have done the same thing. Like, Volty's still pretty defensive. It doesn't take an S. I guess Love is just, I mean, it does set up your S really nicely. It just really gives back nothing. Interesting. Oh, Lovey. That's cool. I didn't think about that. It's one more point, but I'm fine with Vibe. Like I said, it just really restricts the bot's options so much. I don't want to play Events and blow it open. I would have given the bot Stooping, as it turns out, with Events, so that worked out well. Oh, I missed Zlati. Yeah, always a tricky word to see. It's hard to think of starting with ZL. Honestly, I don't think Kojin is terrible, because CNT is still kind of clunky, and this gives back a lot, both possible scoring plays down the H column, also an E on a double-double line. Kojin is really defensive, and keeping the Z when you're playing defensive is not bad, because oftentimes your opponent will open it up and inadvertently give you a Z spot. So honestly, I mean, yeah, I probably would go with Zlati if I had to do it again, but I don't think Kojin is terrible. I mean, the bot would have, well, the bot would have bingoed, yeah, with 2Ps, right, if I had played Zlati next to Vive at the minimum, so... It actually worked out pretty well. And wow, so this is what it had. Interesting. I guess it makes sense. Like, if we think about the different tiles it could draw, like, what's always good, guys, with one-tile fishes is look at the most likely tiles you're going to get first. An A is OP8's Adipese, it's bingoing. An E is Poetize, it's bingoing. An I, well, that would give it bingos through the L, right? Pistolite and Polides, so it's bingoing. O is Isotope, Lubiest, it's bingoing. R is a million things, it's bingoing. And N is also a million things, it's bingoing. Like, it bingos with all of the common tiles. T, it also bingos. L, it bingos. I mean, yeah, this is definitely a good fish. And I think Cash is just forced here, yeah. I mean, no, Cash is definitely fine. It's so many more points. Spot bingos. Iota is the only viable option. Full, yeah, I don't want to play Lutz here, definitely. So full looks good. Yeah, exact. At this point, I was still feeling pretty good. Yeah, this was the first of several interesting turns with the Q for me. Like I said, it was pretty much, I had 3 choices. Waftage, Weft, or Waft, and then Ka. I ultimately decided, like I said, that the Q had a little bit more upside than EFGW. I'm still okay with this decision. And then I drew this. Yeah, and then Jog over Chi. This was a tough one, too. And in retrospect, I think maybe I should have just gotten rid of the Q immediately, because I ran into issues when my Q spot got blocked. I think maybe I underestimated how likely the bot was to block it. I just figured it would, at the minimum, play down the H column and not go over there. But I don't know. Really tough turn here. I don't think this is terrible. In retrospect, I think QI would have worked out a little bit better. And, okay, didn't want to play Bun. Interesting. I guess it just felt like really, yeah, I mean, the nice thing about Bun over here is that it's a little defensive, but it sets up its S really nicely. Because right now, its S is just not as valuable. Like, you do have Aerolites, but that's pretty easy to block, either intentionally or not, with a play down the H column. With Bun, it's a lot harder to block the S hook. So, yeah, it's interesting play. And yeah, I mean, I didn't know what to do here. Oh! I missed Capic. Wow, I don't even know if I've ever played that word. It's not a brand new word, but one in the, I think, 2018 update that came into the dictionary. Yeah, wow. I mean, yeah, that's better. I mean, keeping the second D is not great, but for 11 points, it's definitely worth it. Wow. Yeah, Capic, and then, yeah, adds. DAP is, no, that's definitely not right. But it was, yeah, for me, it was between ads and Kindar. If I see Capic, I definitely would have played that. So that's a miss. But, I mean, this turn is so hard. Like I said, I felt with ads that with all this stuff unseen, the bot was going to probably bingo very soon. And I didn't want to have to spend another turn offloading the queue before I started coming back. But, I mean, the blank is a blank. It is a good tile, so I don't know here, guys. I mean, I think Capic is pretty clearly best, but curious to hear your guys' thoughts. You know, would you have played ads even over Capic or over Kindar? Definitely let me know what you think, because that was a weird turn. In any case, certainly blocking the P, like I said, worked out very well, because if not, Ripianos was 149. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I screwed up here. Okay, I just didn't even look for double doubles, honestly. Yeah, like I briefly thought about overlapping with A and E, but I just didn't occur to me to put a K there. Yeah, that's a big miss. 17 more points, just completely down the drain here. I mean, as it turns out, the bot, I think, bingoed again, so it wasn't going to... I guess I would have blocked headiness, though, so... Yeah, it would have been a very different game after this play, which is a shame, because, I mean, yeah, maybe I would have even had some chances to win. I mean, given what I drew, I probably was still going to be at a disadvantage, but that's no excuse. Yeah, I got to see that. That's a really bad miss, so that's too bad. Yeah, and at this point, I mean, it's just lost, so... Alright, yeah, not thrilled with this one. I mean, especially Nieder. Like, early on, I played pretty well, I think. Kindar was obviously questionable, but, like, I had my reasons for it. I mean, I can sort of live with that. Raked is just bad. I mean, I gotta say Nieder there. It's just a bad miss, you know? I can't be doing that stuff against BestBot. There's no room for errors like that, so... Yeah, disappointing, but it happens. Alright, so we are, like I said, now 37-50. I gotta win 13 in a row, so let's take this one game at a time, guys. Let's come back, ready to win in game number 88, and hopefully we can get this done. So, appreciate all the support, and I look forward to seeing you all soon for the next one. Thanks again, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.